Alright guys, Copper Cutlass here. So yesterday we took the Pontiac out for a little track time. My wife was behind the wheel. She did awesome. We had a few obstacles to work around, mainly the fact that we actually needed drag radials on a 16-second car. I didn't think it was really going to be an issue. But most impressively, the 77 Pontiac Bonneville, which is a tank, actually ran a 16. 16.2. She was spinning and she wasn't shifting, so it's a 15-second car all day. Which is really impressive because that engine's like 12 years old. It's seen a lot of abuse. Which now gets me like kind of pretty excited about, let's see how fast we can make this thing. So we're gonna mess with it some more, but either way, she did great, car ran good. The Sniper EFI worked really well actually. The day before we went to the track, I took it to the shop actually on Friday, and I was beating around, beating it around the parking lot, beating on it, getting, there's a, the ECU's self-learning, but going from like 1200 RPM to flat foot is probably a parameter that it hadn't seen before because you never do that on the street. My idle's between 900 and 850 on it. So I did that and it worked out good. Like I said, we had some tire spin. The car actually performed better than I thought it was going to be slower. I actually ran a 16.2 spinning and just leaving it in drive. We were like in third gear before the 8th mile, so we were not maximizing or using any of our, higher RPM, which that engine, we only spun it up to 5,000 in the past. But either way, car ran good, wife did a good job. But when we were there, a friend of mine dropped off a rear end that he built for a 1977 Delta 88, which is the same B-body platform as the Pontiac. I got this thing, I got a smoking deal on it, just could not pass it up. It's got strange engineering, 30 spline axles. It's got the heavy duty studs. It's set up for like a C-clip eliminator style, which these rear ends from the factory were bolted axles, but I think for the time period where he built this was like the only way he could go. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, he got rid of the car before he could do anything with this rear end. And the only thing I'm noticing right away, which he kind of mentioned, I'm going to have to cut the spline ends of the axle because you can see these axles are probably set up like he set for a spool, which on the spool they'll just go in there. And so for a posi unit, these are going to have to probably get trimmed a little bit to fit with the Detroit True Track that I have in mind to be using. And that's going to be the game plan on this rear end. I saved a lot of money by buying this housing and having these kick-ass axles. And along with that, since this has a smaller Chevy bolt pattern, I'm going to be sticking those wheels on the Pontiac. They're a lot lighter than the Kragers. So on the front, I don't mind running a good bolt-on adapter in the front, but in the rear, I didn't want to use an adapter for the simple fact that you're extending some of your shear force, I think, especially in drag racing. But this is going to allow us to at least bolt our rear wheels directly to these axles, no spacers, no adapters, no nothing. And on the front, I don't mind using a spacer. It shouldn't be an issue. But we're going to be saving money on wheels because I was going to need something lighter. Those Kragers there's at least 150 pounds worth of tires and wheels there. These are much lighter, even though they're still kind of heavy aluminum. But it's going to be, we're not going to have to buy wheels and tires. So it frees up some money to invest in the rear end, which we're going to be putting big block torque to move a heavy car. So we need something bulky, and this is perfect. And the Detroit True Track is going to be the way to go. And probably get a motive gear. We're going to be doing 373. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. We got this. Obviously our engine is torn down. Parts update. I got through the interwebs and friends I have made, I got a message from a guy who I've bought parts from in the past. He's got our main bearings, the Ford style rear main seal, and he also has piston rings that will work with our Speed Pro forged pistons. Real nice. So $50. I couldn't buy the rings for $50. So we saved about $150 with those 3 parts, buying them at 50, because new rings are about 100, and then new bearings are about 60, and then the seal's another 15. I'm getting it for 50, so it's a good deal there. This I picked up for 150. I couldn't buy the axles for 150. And the only reason I'm sharing prices here, not that I'm bragging, but is because we do everything. Everything's a budget build. The rear end is probably still going to cost us somewhere around $700 to build, because we are going to have to buy a good Detroit True Track and a new gear. But I'm willing to spend it because, again, we're saving money in other areas. In the Turbo 400, I'm going to be picking up, I'm getting from the guy I built the engine for, that 350 that I had in here over the summer. So I'm going to be building that. And I'm going to build that just pretty basic. I was doing some reading, and your standard B&M rebuild kit with the Raybestos heavy duty clutches will hold up to 550. They were going to be making 550. I think we're going to be lucky if we're making anywhere from 450 to 460 with this big block. But we'll see. We never know. So yeah, I think we're starting to accumulate parts here, and we pretty much got all our big pieces. I do have a parts list, but I'm going to drag it out because, again, deals come up. People come up to me all the time, hey, I got this, I got that, and I'll buy it. You know, people, I guess that's the one thing this happened by sheer conversation. We were at a good friend's birthday party, and we're kind of mutual friends. We've known each other for a little bit. And he mentioned, we were talking, he had a Delta, and he knew that we had the Pontiac, and we're friends on Instagram, and he's like, you know what, I got this rear end, and dude, I'll let it go for like nothing, and it'll work out for your car. And then the next day I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm interested. There's no way. Well, I mean, it can't. What do you want for it? And he told me the price, and I'm like, I'm in. So guys, again, that whole thing where building budget stuff, good stuff is realistic. You just have to, plant your seeds and water them, and little by little, people will reach out to you when they're ready to sell parts. And I think I've become that person locally where people call me up and say, hey, I got this, that, or the other, or I'll post stuff in the wanted ads on forums. It's a great resource. So guys, that's our little update. We did some track time, we got some parts, and hopefully my house projects will be wrapped up sometime in November, and we can hit the Pontiac full force and get that ball rolling, because I'm excited for that. And there has been a change of plans with that, but we'll talk about that later. There's an explanation, there's a reason, and financially it's going to work out for us. Again, our budgets, we're just like everybody else. I'm not some dude who's got a shit ton of money. I don't do side jobs. My budget builds are always, I trickle them out. So it's important for me to relate to people on that end, because I'm just like everybody else out there. I got bills, I got stuff, I got house projects, I got dogs I got to take care of, and stuff always comes up, house stuff. So this is why we do things the way we do. It keeps us in the game, and we might have to do it down the road, but it gets us on the road for a while. I've never had my cars let me down because of the choice of parts I used. So guys, follow, share, like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share it. Follow us on Instagram, Copper Cutlass, and on Facebook, Copper's Garage. Thanks.